Alright. Hello, everyone. This is Yugi Vega, and I haven't posted in a while. That's because we're getting ready for the holiday season on my end, and that means lots of food and PJs. I bought me an excellent Umbreon onesie. I will probably have a link to it down below. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not a Amazon affiliate, so you'll just see what I bought. Anywho, I decided that I should gift you guys something for the holiday at the very least, and thus I will tell you about my first experience with the supernatural, or at least the first experience that I remember. When I was younger, we were all living in a house, my entire family, or at least my entire immediate family. It is because of this that living with family members is like, to me. I don't mind it, think it's great, and the noise that comes without them being here honestly disturbs me somewhat. But that's besides the point. What ended up happening is that one day I passed by the kitchen, and upon doing so, I saw someone in our fridge. Looking into the refrigerator, I wouldn't see the person anymore. The person was wearing a blue pair of pants, it was like jeans. I believe it was a white shirt, and it looked like they had their hand over the door and their head tucked inside of the fridge itself as if looking to see what they wanted to eat. Whenever I would look inside of the kitchen, though, the person would no longer be there. Now, due to the fact that this happened years ago, my perception of time is way off, so as far as I had remembered, it was a matter of days when someone else had noticed it. I had asked my family about it, just to find out that it was actually about maybe 2-3 years of me constantly seeing it. Apparently I had told them that I was seeing a guy in our fridge, and they didn't believe me because they couldn't see it. You know, I was the only one that could see it at the time. So after about maybe 1 or 2 years, I just stopped mentioning it altogether. I mean, no one believed me, so there was just absolutely no point. I was just gonna see the guy in our fridge. And then my brother started seeing it. Then my cousin. Then my aunts, uncles, grandparent, and mother. Eventually, everyone in the house saw the damn thing in the fridge. Long story short, my grandma blessed the house, performing a exorcism of sorts, and had me be the tester, because I was the first person to see the thing in our fridge. It was assumed that maybe it would be able to hide itself from the other people because it took a while for them to even see it, but on my end, since I was the first person to notice it at all, then it wouldn't be able to necessarily hide from me all that well, because I noticed it. So she blesses the house, blesses the kitchen doors, the kitchen itself, pretty much the entire place so it would have like nowhere to hide, and has me pass the kitchen several times. I no longer saw the spirit there. Now, I thought it was weird that it was being banished, at least what I did when I was a kid, because like my thought process was the fact that like it was eating from the fridge, and we weren't eating from the fridge. It was eating our leftovers, as far as I'm concerned, and we didn't like touching it. For some reason, like, whenever they cooked the leftovers would, like, taste absolutely awful. That was probably why, now that I think about it. So, that's my story. That's my experience with the supernatural, the first time it's happened to me. It's not exciting. It's not weird. It's just a thing that happened. I think I got enough time for one more. Okay, so, I do indeed have time for one more. I'm gonna preface it by stating that at this point in time, I have seen some weird shit. Most I don't really remember. I became a supernatural nut when it came to like creepypastas and like myths, legends, local horror stuff, haunted houses, that kind of thing. I was looking it up, I could recite it to you, and I had a decent idea on how to get rid of certain things. I wasn't like exorcism proficient or nothing, but like, that was alright. Um, uh, Before I tell this story, I'm gonna tell one from some years before. This is at the point of time where the supernatural stopped really bothering me. The best way to put it is that I like my sleep. Sleep is amazing to me. If the sun is not up, neither am I, or at least that's just how that's how I would like to be. And this situation happens to lead up to the story I'm going to give you, so I'm going to give you this story, this little short blurb first. When we were all living together in this house I'm pretty sure is haunted. All sorts of weird shit happened in this house, like toys going off by themselves, a teddy bear literally glowing in the darkness on the top of the stairwell, all sorts of shit. So, after a while, it got to the point where I was like, look, y'all can do this, y'all can be creepy all y'all want, but if you're gonna do it while I'm supposed to be sleeping, you will be ignored. So, at the time, our uncle was visiting. Didn't know it was him doing this until like the morning time, but like, we heard a voice like next to us. Honestly thought it was a supernatural creature, specifically like a ghost or something, because we were already fairly sure that the place was haunted. He just comes up to our bed. It's like, wake up, wake up. And of course, us being children, being woken up during the weekend, we were not pleased. We rolled over while this ghost was harassing us. We gave no fucks. And it was doing all its, the usual stuff. I'm gonna haunt you and all that. So eventually it got annoyed at us and was like, get up, I'm here to haunt you. And we checked the time. It is 3 a.m. We weren't having none of that. I flat out told the ghost, who again it was actually our uncle pretending to be a ghost trying to scare us, but again at this point in time we were like whatever. And we were like, look, it's 3 in the morning and we ain't gotta go to school tomorrow. Can you come back like later when the sun's up, when we'll actually be awake and aware to give a fuck? Did not take kindly to that. He was like, but I'll haunt you, I will torment you, you will be dragged off to the shadows and whatever. And in complete mocking tone, we went, come back in the morning when we'll care. Because we just weren't having none of it. Because it was 3 a.m. The weekend had started. We were not pleased being woken up by a supernatural entity. What we thought was a supernatural entity anyway. Because it wanted to haunt us at 3 a.m. No thanks. You either gonna wait till morning time or you're gonna get slept through. Our uncle revealed himself in the morning as we were having breakfast. It was like, y'all weren't scared of me? And we had explained that we actually did think he was a ghost. It's just that it was so early in the day we just didn't give a fuck. Now, this is important because years later I became a part of this place called Job Corps. It's effectively a trade school. I went in for culinary arts. As a result, I am an okay cook now. So, props. But this place was considered haunted. Like, it was an old lodging town that was probably an Indian burial ground at some point, and then they like built the place on top of it. It's crazy. I just know it was a lodging town because like all sorts of weird stuff happened here. Like staff seeing like witch doctors on the roof, throwing like heads at them. The only reason why I found out that the place was a lodging town was because I had a dream that the area was a lodging town, and I had asked if the place was a lodging town once upon a time to find out it was in fact a lodging town. So all sorts of supernatural stuff just happened there. One thing in particular, though, was the fact that, like, in some of the rooms on the girls' only building, there was something in the closet. No one knows what it was. It's just that at night, you would hear scratching noise and banging and whatnot coming from inside of the closet door, even though there was apparently nothing in it. Now, this was freaking out one of my friends who was living in that particular dorm room. The dorm room could fit about 4 or 5 girls inside of it because there was enough space to like have the beds be separate and whatnot. And I was like, look, if it becomes a problem, let me know. I'll take care of it. So, a couple days later, scratching, banging. I'm woken up at like midnight, and I don't have early shifts, so I am not pleased with being woken up at that time. I get up, they're like, oh yeah, it's scratching at our door and stuff, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll deal with it. I walk into the room, go straight to the door, the closet door, and yell, fuck off. I screaming at the door. And that's it. I turned around, went back to my room. Didn't have a problem for like an entire month. They had no noises or nothing. And they were like, what did you do? I said, I just told them to fuck off. Because a happy Yugi is a well-rested Yugi. And if Yugi is woken up before she has to be up, Yugi is not happy. And if I am not happy, everyone suffers the consequences, regardless of what you are. Now, it did started like up on its noise and whatnot, like after the month was up, but that was mostly because at some point someone had opened the door. Because apparently, like, it wasn't there during the day, and so long as you had the door closed at night, it would stay in there. But, like, someone had left the door open, so whatever was in there apparently escaped. So, they were like, whatever supernatural creature thing in there, it's gone. It left. So, they didn't have a problem after that. Which was awesome, because that means I didn't get woken up. Then again, I was sleeping through all the weird shit anyway, so it was whatever. That concludes my Halloween story time. Christmas story time. Spooky, scary skeleton Christmas story time. Whatever. It's not great. I'm not gonna lie. My experience with the supernatural was mild at best. And if there were times I probably should have been concerned and simply wasn't. I mean, I've seen things vanish in front of me. Like, I'd stare at it and it would, like, instantly vanish. I've seen that happen. But, like, I was just more, well, than, like, actual freaking out and whatnot. So, you all have a wonderful Christmas holiday. I hope you enjoyed the story somewhat, despite it being nothing more than incoherent ramblings of a tired person. And I wish you all the best. Bye.